Okay, let's talk about something pretty incredible. What if I told you that a simple tree might hold the key to relieving joint pain so bad? I'm talking pain that has left people stuck in bed for decades. Well, today we're going to dive into a traditional remedy based on the teachings of Rajiv Dixit that claims to do just that. Right off the bat, this idea is a huge challenge to how we normally think about medicine. It's asking a pretty bold question, isn't it? Could the real answer to some of the worst pain imaginable actually be growing in your garden instead of waiting for you in a surgeon's office? Now, before we get to the solution, it's so important to understand the exact problem we're talking about here. This isn't about minor aches and pains. Not at all. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that for a second. We're talking about people who are bedridden for 20, 30, even 40 years. People who can't walk, who can't even turn over in bed without being in agony. This is about a level of chronic arthritis that completely robs you of your life. And that's the specific, extreme situation this remedy is supposedly for. You really have to get that to understand why it's considered so powerful. So for these really severe cases, the source lays out a very specific solution. And it's not just a remedy, it's described as an exclusive one, which, well, that is a very particular meaning here. When the source says exclusive, it's a direct instruction. You have to stop everything else. The claim is that this medicine is so potent that it needs to work all on its own, without any interference from other things, whether that's other medicines or even other natural remedies.
All right, so where does this powerful remedy come from? A single plant, the Harsingar tree. It's also known as Parijat. But of course, before you can use it, you gotta know how to find it.
So how do you actually find this tree? Well, you're looking for a few key things. First, it has these little white flowers, but the stem, the part connecting it to the branch, is this really noticeable bright orange color. You can't miss it. They also have this amazing smell. And here's the cool part. They only bloom at night. So in the morning, you'll see this beautiful carpet of flowers on the ground underneath the tree. Oh, and if you touch the leaves, they feel kind of rough. Put all that together, and you've found your Harsingar tree. Okay, so you've found the tree. Now what? How do you actually turn those leaves into medicine? The source gives a very clear step-by-step process for making something called a decoction. The preparation is actually pretty simple. You take about 6 or 7 leaves and grind them up into a paste, like a chutney, maybe with a tiny bit of water. Then you mix that paste into 1 glass of water and boil it. You just let it boil down until you've got about half a glass left. Let that cool down completely, and then you drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Super easy. The source even says you can just make it the night before so it's ready to go when you wake up. And how long do you take it for? Well, it depends. For that really severe chronic arthritis we've been talking about, the suggestion is about 1.5 to 3 months. But what's interesting is it's also recommended for the awful body aches you can get after dengue fever. But for that, it's a much shorter time, only 15 to 20 days. Now, here's a really important detail. Don't strain it. The advice is to drink the whole thing, little bits of leaf and all. The thinking here is that those solid particles of the ground-up leaves are where the most powerful stuff is. So if you filter it, you're actually making it less effective. Okay, so the conversation now makes a pretty big shift. We move away from the remedy itself and into a really strong opinion against a very common modern surgery, joint replacement. And this is a huge part of the source's overall message. I mean, that quote is crystal clear, right? It's a passionate plea to avoid joint replacement surgery no matter what. The core belief is that what you're born with is irreplaceable, and that all our effort should be on repairing what we have, not just swapping it out. And to back this up, the source brings up a really famous example. It claims that the former Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, actually got worse after his knee replacement. Even though he had one of the best American surgeons, he went from walking, even if it was with some trouble, to being completely dependent on a wheelchair. This whole critique of modern surgery then opens up into a much bigger idea, a deeper philosophy about what true knowledge and expertise really are. The source basically draws a line in the sand. On one side, you have knowledge, which is defined as the real, practical ability to make someone better. It doesn't matter if it comes from a village healer who never went to school. On the other side, you have degrees, all those fancy letters after a doctor's name. And the argument is that those qualifications don't automatically mean you have real wisdom or that you'll get good results. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's a call to action. Value the wisdom that works, not just the piece of paper that says someone's an expert. The source is arguing that those two things, real knowledge and a formal degree, are not connected at all.
So we've walked through this incredible traditional remedy and at the same time a really sharp critique of some modern medical practices. Now, of course, with anything related to your health, you should always talk to a professional you trust. But the source really leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? Where does our trust truly lie? Is it with the ancient knowledge that comes from nature and tradition, or is it with the modern textbooks and the certified experts from today's institutions? It's a fascinating question and one that really gets you thinking.